Have you ever stood at the edge of a river? You can see the water flowing right in front of you, but what about the part of the river that is further downstream? What about the part that disappears around the bend? You cannot see what is there. This is the future. It is a part of our life's journey that remains unseen, a mystery waiting to unfold. For young people especially, the future can feel like a vast, uncharted territory. Questions fill your mind. What will I become? Where will I live? Will I be happy? Will I succeed? It feels like everyone else has a map, while you are standing at the edge of this vast, unseen river with no idea which way to go. But what if we could look at the future differently? What if, instead of being a source of fear, the unknown could be a source of faith? In this devotional, we will explore this very idea. We will look at how we can face the uncertainties of tomorrow, not with anxiety but with a deep and abiding peace. Fear of the future is a heavy burden. It drains your energy and steals your joy. Suddenly, the joy of the present is clouded by worry. This anxiety can affect everything, making it hard to sleep, focus, and connect. It magnifies uncertainty into catastrophe, trapping you in a loop of what-ifs. This mental weight is exhausting, leaving you overwhelmed and isolated. God doesn't want us crushed by tomorrow. He invites us to lay that burden down. Acknowledge your fear. It's okay to be scared. Recognizing the weight is the first move toward letting it go. Long ago, a man named Joshua stood at the edge of his own uncertain future. He was about to lead an entire nation into a new land. The leader before him, Moses, was gone. The people were looking to Joshua. They were facing powerful enemies, fortified cities, and a future that was completely unknown. Imagine the pressure he must have felt. The fear must have been immense. The fate of his people rested on his shoulders. He was standing on the banks of his own Jordan River, looking at a promise that seemed impossible to reach. He was, in many ways, just like us, facing a future that felt too big to handle. In this moment of great uncertainty, God spoke directly to Joshua. He did not give him a detailed map of every battle. He did not show him a vision of the final victory. Instead, he gave him something far more powerful. He gave him a promise. In the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9, God says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." This was not just a suggestion, it was a command. It was a call to choose courage over fear and strength over discouragement. Think about the power of those words. Be strong and courageous. This was not a command for Joshua to find strength within himself. It was an invitation to draw strength from God. The reason he could be strong was not because of his own abilities, but because of the one who was with him. The command not to be afraid was rooted in the promise that followed, "For the Lord your God will be with you." This is the core of our hope. Our courage does not come from knowing the future. It comes from knowing the one who holds the future. God's presence is the antidote to our fear. This ancient promise was not just for Joshua. It echoes through time, speaking directly to our hearts today. When you face your own unknown future, your own promised land of new schools, new jobs, or new relationships, this promise is for you. God is commanding you, just as he commanded Joshua, to be strong. He is commanding you to be courageous, not because the path will be easy, but because he will be with you. He will be with you in the classroom, in the job interview, on the lonely nights, and in the moments of victory. His presence is the unshakable foundation on which we can build our lives. So how do we begin to live in this promise? How do we move from fear to faith? The journey starts with a single step, right here, in this present moment. It is about trusting God with the next 5 minutes. Our journey of faith begins with a single choice to believe in the constancy of God's presence. This devotional is an invitation to begin that journey, to walk forward in courage. His presence is an active, powerful force in our lives. We can train our hearts to listen for his voice. Open your heart to the possibility that you do not have to carry this burden of fear alone. The Creator is with you. He is for you. Let us take this first step together. Imagine standing at the edge of a great river. This was the view for Joshua, the new leader of an entire nation. The weight of millions of hopes and dreams rested squarely on his shoulders. The pressure must have felt immense and relentless. Am I strong enough? Am I wise enough? He knew the land was filled with powerful enemies. This was a monumental undertaking. We often feel a similar weight, even if on a smaller scale. The future can feel like a kingdom we are supposed to conquer. This weight can make us feel small and powerless. Joshua's story starts in a place we all understand, a place of great pressure and uncertainty. God chose a man who was standing right where we often stand, feeling the immense weight of what was to come. 40 years earlier, Joshua was one of 12 spies sent to explore the Promised Land. He saw its beauty, a land of abundance. But 10 of the other spies saw giants and fortified cities. They came back with a report filled with fear, paralyzing the people. An entire generation lost faith and wandered in the desert for 40 years. Now Joshua was the leader, knowing the danger of fear. The first battle was against the fear within. God speaks with a command. Be strong and courageous. This is a call to action, a divine instruction to choose courage despite fear. God isn't asking if you feel strong or courageous, He's commanding it. Strength is endurance, standing firm. Courage is action, moving forward. God commands both, endurance and bravery. This command applies to us. Trust that He provides strength and courage. Turn toward God, who commands us to advance, choosing faith over fear. The command to be strong and courageous would be an impossible burden if it ended there. God immediately follows His command with an unbreakable promise. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. The original language implies a close, active, and involved presence. God was not just sending Joshua into the Promised Land, He was going with him. With God's presence, we have the giant slayer on our side. The antidote to fear is not the absence of problems, but the presence of God. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. You are never ever alone. Our lives are like a flowing river. Each moment joins others to create a current that moves forward. As we grow, the river of life changes, widening and deepening. The current becomes stronger, pulling us forward. This is where the beauty of the journey truly begins. Its purpose is to flow, to travel, to journey towards a larger body of water. Our lives are meant for movement and growth. The true adventure lies in embracing the current, allowing ourselves to be carried forward. It is in this constant flow that we discover our own strength. God is the source of this river. He knows the entire course of the river. When we look at the flowing water, we are looking at a metaphor for His divine plan. Trusting the flow of the river is an act of faith. Not every part of the river is a rushing current. There are times when the water slows down, spreading out to form still, quiet pools. These are the seasons of waiting in our lives. It might be the summer before college, the period of searching for a job, or a time when our prayers seem to go unanswered. In these moments, it can feel like we are not moving forward at all. The world around us seems to be rushing by, while we are stuck in a place of stillness and silence. It is easy to become discouraged in these pools, to feel forgotten or left behind on the journey. These periods of waiting can be deeply uncomfortable. We are a generation that is used to instant results and constant motion. We want answers now. We want progress now. The stillness can feel like failure. We might look at the calm surface of the water and mistake it for stagnation. We may question if God has forgotten us, or if we have somehow strayed from the river's main channel. The temptation is to try and force movement, to stir up the water ourselves, creating frantic activity that does little to actually move us forward. This anxiety can rob the still pool of its intended purpose and peace. However, these still pools are a crucial and beautiful part of the river's journey. They are not places of abandonment, but places of preparation and reflection. It is in the stillness that the sediment settles and the water becomes clear again. It is in these quiet moments that we can finally hear God's voice without the roar of the rapids. This is a time to deepen our roots, to strengthen our faith, and to reflect on where we have been and where God is leading us. It is a sacred pause, a divine intermission that allows us to catch our breath before the next stage of the journey begins. Think of these waiting periods as a gift. Use them to look up at the sky, to see the beauty around you that you miss when you are rushing forward. This is the time to recharge your spirit, to spend more time in prayer and to listen. God is always at work, even in the silence. He is preparing the path ahead. He is strengthening you for what is to come. Trust that the stillness has a purpose. Embrace the quiet, and know that soon enough the current will gently pull you forward once more, clearer and stronger than you were before you entered the pool. The river suddenly narrows, life speeds up, chaos hits. These are the rapids of change moving new schools, family upheaval. We're tossed by forces beyond us, unable to see what's ahead. Our plans, useless. In these moments, faith is tested. We must trust God to carry us through, not our own strength. Each obstacle survived is proof of His guidance. The rapids shape us, making us stronger travelers. Remember, God's promise is for the chaos too. Focus on His presence, not the churning water. Sometimes the river leads to a waterfall, a moment of total surrender. We can't see the bottom, but we must let go. It's terrifying, but it's also transformative. Surrendering to God's will breaks fear's grip and brings new life. God waits below, ready to catch us. The fall isn't into emptiness, but into his arms. When you face a waterfall moment, be strong and courageous. Trust the one who commands the water. Maya faced the overwhelming choice of college, feeling lost and anxious as friends moved confidently ahead. Fear whispered doubts, but a youth group message reminded her, trust God with the next step, not the whole map. She prayed for peace, not certainty, and chose a college with quiet courage. Her security wasn't in a school's name, but in God's presence. Maya realized she wasn't walking into the unknown alone. God was with her. Liam's first night in his dorm was filled with loneliness and doubt, the excitement gone. Social media made him feel even more isolated, but he remembered God's promise to Joshua, do not be discouraged. He read the verse, prayed for courage, and took a small step, knocking on a neighbor's door. That act, fueled by faith, began his new journey. Liam stopped listening to fear's echo and started trusting God's presence. Sarah, a gifted violinist, felt crushed by the pressure to be perfect, her joy replaced by fear. Her grandmother asked, "Who are you playing for?" and encouraged her to play for God, not for others' approval. This shift freed Sarah from anxiety. She offered her music as worship, not a test. On stage she felt calm, her worth secure in God, not in judges' scores. Sarah rediscovered passion and freedom, trusting her identity as God's beloved child. Finally, there is the story of Ben. Ben grew up where the path to success was clearly defined: good grades, university, high-paying job. But he felt a growing unease. His passion was for working with his hands, building things, serving others practically. He felt a pull towards learning a trade. This felt like a betrayal of expectations. The fear of disappointing his family was a massive barrier. His future felt like a choice between two rivers. He started praying for clarity and courage. Ben realized that courage might mean disappointing some people to be obedient to God's leading. Ben finally sat down with his parents. As he shared his heart, they saw his sincerity. Ben chose the smaller stream. He felt a deep sense of peace about his future. He learned true strength is about bravely following the unique path God has carved out for you. How do we build a life of courage? It starts with prayer, a simple daily practice. Prayer is an ongoing conversation with God. Talk to Him throughout the day. When fear creeps in, prayer becomes our defense. Turn anxieties into prayers. Prayer is also about listening. Take a moment to be still in His presence. God speaks in the stillness, calming our spirits. Consistent prayer transforms our relationship with fear. This daily conversation weaves His presence into our lives. Each prayer is a declaration of faith in His strength. This is the first step in walking courageously into the future. The second practical step is to build an anchor of reflection. In the middle of a storm, a ship needs an anchor to keep it from being tossed about by the waves. In the storms of anxiety about the future, our anchor is remembering God's faithfulness in the past. Fear makes us forget. It erases the memories of all the times God has helped us before and focuses only on the scary what-ifs of tomorrow. Reflection is the practice of intentionally looking back and remembering. It is how we hold on to the truth of God's character when our feelings are telling us to be afraid. It is a powerful weapon against discouragement. Take some time to create a record of God's faithfulness. You can do this in a journal, a note on your phone, or even just a mental list. Think back over your life. When was a time you were worried and God provided? When did you face a challenge you thought was impossible and He saw you through it? Maybe it was passing a difficult class, healing a broken friendship, or finding comfort during a sad time. Write these things down. Be specific. This list becomes your personal evidence file. It is your collection of reminders that the God who was with you then is the same God who is with you now. This practice of reflection gives substance to the promise in Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. When God told Joshua to be strong and courageous, Joshua had a lifetime of memories to draw from. He remembered God parting the Red Sea. He remembered God providing manna in the desert. He remembered God's protection from their enemies. These were not just stories, they were his personal experiences. His courage was built on the solid foundation of God's proven track record. When we reflect on our own past experiences of God's help, we are building that same kind of solid foundation for our own faith, making it harder for the winds of anxiety to shake us. When a new fear about the future arises, go back to your anchor. Read through your list of God's past faithfulness. Let these memories remind you of who God is. He is a provider. He is a protector. He is a guide. He is faithful. This act of remembering starves your fear and feeds your faith. It helps you to face the unknown not with a vague hope, but with a confident trust rooted in real experience. Reflection anchors your heart to the truth of God's unwavering presence, giving you the stability you need to face the flowing currents of tomorrow with courage and peace. Trusting God isn't a solo journey. Grab hold of the lifeline of community. When fear isolates you, remember God designed us for community. We support each other, pray, and remind each other of truth, vital for courage. Find a trusted community, youth group, friends, or a mentor. Share your fears without judgment. Speaking them aloud diminishes their power. You're not alone. Your community is a lifeline. They pray, remind you of God's promises, and share stories of overcoming fear. We need community to walk with us. We are stronger together. Focus on the courage of the next small step. Fear of the future often paralyzes us because we are looking too far ahead. God rarely gives us the whole map, but illuminates the very next place to put our foot. His first step is simply to get his feet wet. This principle is liberating. You just need to have the courage to study for your test tomorrow. He is just asking you to take the next faithful step in front of you. It is a series of small, obedient steps. Bring your focus back to the present moment. Each small step taken in faith is a victory against fear. It is a declaration that you trust God to handle the rest of the journey. A courageous life is made up of thousands of small choices to trust God. Trust that as you walk, God will reveal the path. We have journeyed together down this river of thought, exploring the deep currents of fear and the unshakable rock of God's promise. We began by acknowledging the heavy weight of the future, a weight that so many young people carry today. We stood with Joshua at the edge of his own intimidating river, feeling the pressure of leadership and hearing the echoes of past failures. We listened as God spoke a timeless command: be strong and courageous. We learned that this courage is not a feeling but a choice, fueled by the incredible promise of his constant, active presence in our lives. This is the foundation upon which everything else is built. We then compared our life's journey to the flow of a river, with its quiet pools of waiting, its churning rapids of change, and its breathtaking waterfalls of surrender. We saw that every part of the journey, even the scary and uncomfortable parts, has a divine purpose. These experiences are designed not to break us but to shape us, to deepen our trust, and to draw us closer to the Creator who guides the current. Through the relatable stories of Maya, Liam, Sarah, and Ben, we saw how this faith plays out in the real world. In the face of college decisions, loneliness, performance pressure, and family expectations. Their stories are our stories. We explored the practical tools God has given us to fight fear and walk in faith. We learned the importance of turning our worries into a daily conversation of prayer, connecting constantly with the God who is always with us. We discovered the power of building an anchor of reflection, intentionally remembering God's past faithfulness to give us confidence for the future. We saw the necessity of grabbing onto the lifeline of community, knowing that we are not meant to face our fears alone. And finally, we were reminded to focus on the courage of taking just the next small step, trusting God with the rest of the path. This journey through scripture and story brings us here, to this final moment of encouragement. The river of your life will continue to flow. There will be more bends in the river, more unseen territory ahead. The future, by its very nature, will always contain an element of the unknown. The goal has never been to eliminate the unknown, but to change how we face it. The goal is to move from a posture of fear and anxiety to a posture of faith and courage, standing firm on the promise that you are never, ever, walking alone into what comes next. The words spoken to Joshua thousands of years ago were not just for him. They were not just for the people of Israel. They have been preserved and passed down through generations because they contain a living, breathing truth for you, right here, right now. God is speaking to you today. He sees the specific giants you are facing. He knows the particular river you are about to cross. He understands the unique fears that keep you up at night. And his message to you is the same one he gave to Joshua. It is a promise that is personal, powerful, and meant for your heart. He says to you, "Have I not commanded you?" This is your personal call to action. It is an invitation from the Creator of the universe to step into a life of purpose and bravery. He is commanding you to be strong, not in your own power which wavers and fails, but in His which is limitless and unending. He is commanding you to be courageous, not because the path will be easy or free from obstacles, but because the one who commands you is greater than any obstacle you will ever face. This is your divine commission to live a life that is bigger than your fears. He says to you, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. This is his direct answer to the two greatest enemies of your future. Fear paralyzes you, telling you all the ways you might fail. Discouragement wears you down, telling you that things will never get better. God speaks directly against both of these lies. He understands how they can cripple your spirit and steal your joy. His command is a shield to hold up against these attacks. When fear whispers, you can answer with his command. When discouragement settles in, you can fight back with his truth. He is giving you permission to reject these heavy burdens. And the reason you can do all this, the anchor for your soul, is the promise that follows. For the Lord, your God will be with you wherever you go. This is your personal guarantee. This is the promise that changes everything. He will be with you in the highest highs and the lowest lows. He will be with you when you feel confident and when you are filled with doubt. He will be with you when you are surrounded by friends and when you feel completely alone. Let this promise sink deep into your soul until it becomes the defining reality of your life. You are never alone. So what now? Where do you go from here? You walk forward. You leave this moment of reflection and step back into the flow of your life. But you step forward differently. You step forward not with a heavy backpack of anxiety, but with the light yoke of faith. You walk forward with the practical tools you have learned, to pray continually, to reflect on his faithfulness, to connect with your community, and to focus on the next small step. You are equipped for the journey. You have what you need to face whatever comes next with a new sense of peace and purpose. The journey ahead is an adventure. Think of it that way. It is not a test to be passed or failed. It is an unfolding story that God is writing, and you are the main character. There will be chapters of joy and chapters of challenge. There will be surprising plot twists and moments of profound beauty. Embrace it all. Do not waste the precious energy of today, worrying about a chapter you have not yet reached. Live fully in this present moment, trusting the author to handle the ending. See the unknown not as a threat, but as a space for God to show up in incredible ways. Let the sound of the water be a final reminder for you. Let it represent the constant moving presence of God in your life. Sometimes it will be a gentle stream, a quiet whisper of his peace. At other times it will be a powerful waterfall, a thundering reminder of his awesome power and sovereignty. In all its forms, it is a symbol of his life-giving presence. He is with you. He is for you. He goes before you. You have no reason to be afraid. You have every reason to be courageous. The journey is just beginning, so take a deep breath. Let go of the fear. Pick up your courage. Remember the promise. Your future is not a terrifying void. It is a promised land waiting to be explored. And you have the greatest guide in the universe walking beside you every step of the way. Go forth and live the strong and courageous life you were created for. Walk into your tomorrow not with fear, but with an unshakable faith in the God who holds all of your tomorrows in his loving hands. The journey awaits. Walk on.